The atheists of the world, because it's not the Christians, it's not the Muslims, it's not the Jews, it's not the Hindus, it's not the Sikhs. No great religious leaders of the world are pushing ideas like boys are girls and girls are boys. Gender is fluid. You could pick your gender. You could choose to be a boy if you're a girl. You could choose to be a girl if you're a boy. Sex is not binary. It is fluid. Now, these are obviously ridiculous ideas and nobody with a reasonable mind thinks they're true. But the large groups of people who do live by this, the religion of gender ideology, are the atheists. And Christianity has preserved standard, general, biological facts. So has Islam. So has Judaism. So is Sikhism. So is Hinduism. Every single religious group of people in the world have preserved the ideas that Richard Dawkins knows more about than most of us here. Ideas like XX chromosomes make you a woman, XY chromosomes make you a man. So it's very funny, and it must be sadly ironic for Professor Dawkins to be sitting there with this new team of atheists that he's helped create and realize that they're all fucking insane. The idea that you should be aborting your children and that abortion is healthcare, again, I think is very evil. I understand the reasons behind some abortions, and I do believe that in some cases it is necessary. I'm not saying it should be illegal, but I'm saying it's not the Christians and the Muslims who are wearing t-shirts saying, I've had 20 abortions, so what, my body, my choice. That is all the atheists. And people, especially Western people, should be having more children, not less. So I feel like Richard must feel a little bit sad because I've seen him in the past in a documentary he did with Christopher Hitchens maybe 10 years ago, saying that if he could push a button and get rid of all religion in the world, he'd push it. He seems to have changed his mind. And what he's saying is, England is a Christian country. Our cathedrals, our churches, our art, our hymns, our poetry, our plays, everything that's been done in the name of Christianity is what makes England England. England is wonderful because of it, and England shouldn't be anything but a Christian nation. I don't know if he's particularly talking about, I think what he's doing is he's trying to juxtaposition himself and say, oh, I don't want it to become a Muslim nation. Essentially, it's becoming an atheist nation because of people like him, and he's now seen the light. Not seen the light for real, like I've seen the light. Not like you've seen the light, but he's seen a glimmer of the light. And he understands that religion is amazing for society, and it helps society function in a healthy, normal way. Now, I have a Muslim brother, I'm a Christian man myself, so what culture, what religion do I think England should be? Well, I am not one of the people who wants his own religion to be in charge of every country in the world. I understand that there are differences in the way that we worship God. I understand that certain countries run in different ways. I believe England should be a Christian nation. I believe its leaders should be Christian. I believe its politicians should be Christian. I believe its heroes and the people it promotes should be Christian. I believe its values and its ideals should be Christian. But I don't think the world should be Christian, because I think the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia should be a Muslim country. I think that these are cultural factors that have shaped the mindset of the people in England, Christianity and the Bible. In Saudi Arabia, the Holy Quran and the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. They have shaped the culture of the people and the society so much so that they're an integral and important part of what that society is and what it means to be English, or what it means to be Saudi, or what it means to be, I don't know, Gujarati Hindu, for example. So I believe England should be a Christian nation. I believe that all of its leaders, etc., should be Christians. And Richard Dawkins is, yeah, he's found himself in a bit of a difficult situation because he's now admitting that society is much better when it's underpinned with the teachings of Jesus Christ and the teachings of the Bible. Well, welcome to the club, Richard. I'll happily throw you a baptism anytime you like. I'm a long-time admirer of your work. I've read all of your books. However, I think you're slowly coming to the realization that made me explore Christianity again, and the realization that made me convert to Christianity again as an atheist. And that was, I looked at society, I looked at the other atheists, I looked at how they behave, I looked at how they think, and I thought, are these my people? Are these my people? Are these the people who I want in control of the world? Are these the people who I want as neighbors? Are these the people I want in society? And you'll very quickly find that the answer is absolutely not. Now, I'm getting a bit of backlash here when I say the leaders of England should be Christians, because as we know, the Prime Minister is not a Christian, he is a Hindu. Rather than backtrack, I'm going to give a little bit of a speech, and I'm going to get myself in more trouble. I think that's smart. I'm going to say something that not a lot of people are allowed to say. I'm a British man. I come from a multi-religious family. I am half black. I'm a quarter Irish, and no, Ireland is not England, and Ireland is not the UK. So I'm a mix of everything, and I'm going to come out and say it because a lot of people aren't allowed to say this without being called racist. But I believe the leaders of the United Kingdom not only should be Christians, I believe that they should be white. Why do I believe that they should be white? I don't necessarily think that a white person is any better qualified than a black person, or any better qualified than a person of Asian descent or Indian descent to be the leader of the United Kingdom. But I believe that white people deserve it more. And I believe they deserve it because of their historical ties to the place and their historical ties to the past. So let's forget England for a second, because when I talk specifically about England, people call me a racist. If I were to say Japan, I believe that the samurai who fought in all of the great wars for the shogunate back when Oda Nobunaga and his boys were fighting to try and gain supremacy of the country, and all the sacrifices that were made in their wars with the Portuguese and their, and the fights they had in World War II against the West. I believe that all the brave men of Japan did all of these things. And they did this so they could pass their country onto their children. They did it so they could pass their country onto their children. And England is no different. The story of the United Kingdom doesn't begin in the 1940s and 50s when immigration showed up. England was established and built before that. No, diversity did not build Britain. The story of England goes back arguably as recent as 1066.